Ooh, we got a good one tonight. Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets. Ooh boy. A Denver Nuggets team that is without Nikola Jokic. However, they have won their last 6 out of 10. They are still playing really, really good basketball with Jokic out of the lineup. This is what we've always been waiting for. Always a game where we could see where the Lakers are at. We got that matchup against the Houston Rockets on Christmas Day. We seen where the Lakers were at. Now you see when them playing against the San Antonio Spurs. I know that they had a success against Spurs, but they also had some L's against San Antonio Spurs. And then now you go in and you got another top 3 team in the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets in Denver, and this is a start for the Lakers. 8-game road trip. It's only going to get difficult for the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know about y'all, man, but I am excited. Even though they don't have a talent like Jokic out there, the Denver Nuggets are still a well-coached team. I'm going to break down all of that. Plus, got a little bit of history that we got to get into in regards to the Lakers. And then another trade scenario that could potentially help this team. Who knows? And, of course, a lot of other trades that could potentially be happening around the league. But you already know, before I get into any of that, I have to talk about the beautiful Pechanga Resort Casino, and you can play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, the official Native American resort and casino of the Los Angeles Lakers. Skip the traffic. Head on over to Pechanga Resort Casino, just off the I-15 in Temecula. Visit pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for reservations and for more information. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and start off with a little bit of the injury report. Lakers got a clean one. Austin Reeves is still out. Adu Thiero is still out, so that's good for the Lakers. It looks like everyone is ready to go against the Denver Nuggets because you're going to need everyone for tonight's matchup. In regards to the Nuggets, Tim Hardaway Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jamal Murray are a game time decision. I guarantee you them boys are going to play, because who wouldn't want to play against the Los Angeles Lakers knowing how close the Western Conference standings are? Christian Brown and Nikola Jokic are out. I know those are big factors for the Denver Nuggets, but this is going to be a game. Even without Nikola Jokic, the Lakers have to be ready to go right from the start. If you turn the ball over against this Denver Nuggets team, you're going to be in some trouble. If you can't get back and transition against this Denver Nuggets team, you're going to be in some trouble. If you cannot contest jump shots, you're going to be in trouble against this Denver Nuggets team. Also, Cam Johnson, another guy that's really, really valuable asset for the Denver Nuggets, is out as well. But that doesn't matter. We've seen the Nuggets, and we've seen the course of the Lakers facing the Denver Nuggets. They always have trouble against the Denver Nuggets. Whether it's Jamal Murray going off, whether it's Nikola Jokic doing his thing, or at that time, Michael Porter Jr., who's no longer with this roster. He's moved on. Got Aaron Gordon, who always gives the Lakers fits, especially he has developed his offensive game. So not only is he still a force to be reckoned with on the defensive end of the floor, he has also stepped up and improved offensively. This is going to be a battle, and this is going to be another great test to see if the Lakers could potentially match up with a team like this. Lakers can't afford to turn the ball over, man. Luka Doncic is going to have to limit his turnovers tonight. And that goes for LeBron James as well. You can't have more than 4 turnovers against a team like this. Hopefully the three-point ball is knocked down tonight for the Lakers, because they're going to need that. This is going to be a real physical game. Be excited. This is another good test for the Lakers. And just to show you how close and how important every single game is, we talk about it. The Lakers need to do a job of stacking up their wins, making sure they stay atop of the Western Conference. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at the Western Conference standings, but do you realize where the Lakers are currently sitting at right now? They are the 6th seed right now in the Western Conference standings. They're sitting at 25-16. The Denver Nuggets are 29-14. Look how close. We talk about it every single season so far. Every single game matters, especially when you're facing a Western Conference opponent, because the standings and the records are always close. The Suns are one game behind the Los Angeles Lakers. And then the Warriors are creeping up right behind them. The Warriors, obviously, without Jimmy Butler, he's gone for the rest of the season with the torn ACL. That is very unfortunate. But so the Warriors are going to have a little bit of a change going into their season. But Lakers are only a game behind the Rockets. They're only a game behind the Minnesota Timberwolves to be in the 4th or 5th seed. That's how important each game is. Now, it's not a guarantee win against the Denver Nuggets tonight. We know how difficult it's going to be. We know what Jamal Murray likes to do. We know he likes to get his buckets against the Lakers. We know they're going to bring a lot of intensity. And then the Lakers got to go into Denver. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a battle. But I'm going to expect J.J. Redick to make adjustments. When he made those adjustments against the Toronto Raptors, again, they're very fortunate that the Raptors weren't knocking down three-point shots because for some reason teams can shoot the ball at a high volume against the Lakers, but that's due to them not contesting jump shots. They're just letting guys get wide open looks left and right. But that was the first time, I want to say the first time, but that was the time where I really looked at it. I was like, when is J.J. Redick actually going to make adjustments on the defensive end to enhance this Lakers team, not keep letting them sink, meaning staying man-to-man and getting exploited because teams exploit the Lakers' athleticism, their quickness, their size, all those different things take into a toll when it comes to this Lakers team. When they run into a younger, athletic, quicker team who can play in multiple ways, the Lakers struggle, and it shows. Is J.J. Redick going to make the right adjustments going into the games tonight against the Nuggets? Because you're going to need some. And not the zone worked into the Lakers' favor against the Raptors. That's probably not going to be the case tonight against the Denver Nuggets, just because of the way their team is constructed. They were able to acquire 3 guys in this offseason without Michael Porter Jr. off the roster. They're still able to acquire those guys to keep them in the top of the Western Conference. Of course, they're going to be solid when they have Nikola Jokic, but the pieces around them, they were able to add more shooting. They were able to add more depth in their bench. Lakers don't have that. So the Nuggets are going to be able to bring in guys off the bench. What is the bench going to do for the Lakers tonight? That is going to be another story. There's going to be a lot of things where we're going to see where the Lakers are at when it comes to facing Western Conference opponents like the Thunder, like the Nuggets, like the T-Wolves, like the Spurs. This is going to be an ongoing story for the rest of the season, but you have to be excited. I'm excited. I'm ready to see what type of energy, what type of intensity, where their mindset are at to start this brutal 8-game road trip. And that's another thing we have to get into. This is not easy. They start off in Denver, and then they go on the road. Again, 8-game. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now. The computer's a little slow. They got Denver, then they got LA. Cool. The Clippers are playing really good basketball right now, by the way. They have turned their season completely around through the whole Chris Paul mess, through the whole injuries, through the whole Kawhi drama. They have turned their season around. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They have been playing really good basketball. So that's not going to be an easy matchup. Then you got to go to Dallas, then to Chicago, then to Cleveland, then the Wizards, which I'm not going to say should be a win. Then guess what? To New York, to Brooklyn. It's a brutal 8-game road trip. It's not going to be easy for the Lakers. They have an opportunity to stack some wins on that road trip. They're going to need everyone to be healthy because the injury bug has hit this Lakers team hard, but it starts tonight. How are you starting this 8-game road trip off right? Are you going to really come out there and bring the high energy, the high effort? Because you know you're facing against a Western Conference team like the Nuggets. There's no reason they should come out flat-footed. But no disrespect, it wouldn't surprise me if it goes and this game gets real ugly for the Lakers. But they do have the ability to come out with a win. They do. They really do. But it all depends on them limiting their turnovers, them getting back in transition defense, having that same defensive intensity that they had against the Toronto Raptors, contesting shots without fouling, running the lanes, getting into passing lanes, forcing turnovers, using those turnovers for easy buckets instead of watching one-on-one basketball. Luka Doncic step back threes, LeBron James sitting and settling for jump shots. It's going to be a tough one. But again, we have to be excited for this. So I mentioned about talking about a little bit of history in regards to the Lakers. And I saw this interesting tweet out yesterday. And I was going to bring it up yesterday. We ran out of time, so I was going to bring it up today. And this is regards to the Lakers' record at 41 games for these past 6 seasons. All right. In 2020, which we to this day talk about how fantastic that bubble team was. Alex Caruso, KCP, the two-headed monster of JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Kyle Kuzma was in the mix. And then you, of course, have LeBron James, Anthony Davis. And then you have a championship DNA, a veteran, a Hall of Famer, and Rajon Rondo. That team was something special. 33-8 was the record in 40-game mark. And there was no question that that Lakers team was the best team in the NBA. I know people like to make excuses. Oh, it's the bubble championship, the Mickey Mouse ring. No, before that whole tragedy happened in our world, the Lakers were the best team in the NBA. You can't question it. The way the roster was, the way they were actually beating teams, they were really, really fun to watch in that year. And then, of course, the following year, 2021, we understand that they were at 28-13. Some guys left the roster. They're still able to keep a little bit of their core, and Caruso, KCP, Anthony Davis, LeBron, of course. And that was the year that Anthony Davis ends up getting hurt. LeBron James, thank you, Solomon. No, not thank you, but unfortunately, Solomon Hill steps on LeBron James and rolls on his ankle. So then injury bugs hit the Lakers at the wrong stretch. They were having the possibility to beat that Phoenix Suns team in advance, and who knows what would have happened if Anthony Davis were to stay healthy, which that's always been a big if in his career. And what happens if LeBron James didn't get his ankle rolled on? That team still had the forces and the squad to make things happen in the playoff. They were 28-13. They were really, really good. And then you go into the year 2022 when they decided to make that trade for Russell Westbrook. And that was the turning point for the Lakers. That's when we started to see constant rotation, constant lineup changes, constant trading, and always being aggressive during the trade deadline. It obviously did not work. We know how that story went down with LeBron, Russ, and AD. It was a very dysfunctional team. They were at 21-20 at that season, but that record really didn't show how bad that team really was, for being honest with you. They end up missing the playoffs that year. After 2 years previous before that, where they were playing high-level basketball, really, really fun to watch, all of a sudden we just see a dip like this into that 2022 team, missing the playoffs. And then I'm going to keep on going down the list. But before I do, I'll take a little break and let my partner Zabatanga give you guys a quick word.
At Pechanga Resort Casino, you can rock and roll, sip and slide, twist and shout. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino, official Indian gaming sponsor of the Lakers.
Welcome back to Lakers Talk Daily. Lakers taking on the Denver Nuggets tonight in Denver to start their brutal 8-game road trip. Let's see what type of Lakers team we are going to see tonight against a Denver Nuggets team who was without Nikola Jokic, but still have been playing really good basketball. And the reason why I brought up those records on the other side, as far as what the Lakers record were at 41 games through these previous years, is because we know the history of the Lakers running into the Denver Nuggets. And that's why I left off at 2022 with that disaster year with the Russell Westbrook, and that experience did not go well whatsoever. You look into 2023, they're able to get off of Russell Westbrook. They got back in the D-Lo train. They got back into all that stuff, and they made, which you see the record where they were at 41 games. They were 19-22. 19-22. And you know what they did that year? They made it to the Western Conference Finals. A year where we were like, oh, damn, this Lakers team has a chance. They can actually go out here and they can make it to the finals. And that was the Denver Nuggets. And that was them showing how they're going to be a force to be reckoned with for the years to come, and the Denver Nuggets always seem to get in the Lakers' way. So, of course, we know how it went down that 2023 season. It went from a 19 and 22 to, okay, the Lakers won in the first round. They end up winning the second round. And then they get matched up with the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals, but we know how that ended up going down. They end up getting, eliminated in that Western Conference Finals against the Denver Nuggets. And then we look at the following year, 2024. They're 20 and 21. 20 and 21. Again, what do the Lakers do? They try to make some tweaks. They make some trades. They're aggressive during the trade deadline. And then they run into the Denver Nuggets again in the first round. And what happens? They got eliminated in the first round. And then what happens? 2025 comes around. And then a miraculous trade with Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, a trade that we still can't wrap our heads around sometimes, and why the Dallas Mavericks did this and why they wanted to go after Anthony Davis, a guy who has had an injury history. And you've seen how that trade went down, and the Lakers legit got a generational talent, a guy that they can actually rebuild around and put the right pieces and tools, which we all are hoping that they do, which I'm going to get into a little bit, is that they can do that with the right necessary guys around Luka Doncic and keep on pairing them up with athletic wing defenders and get out and run. So they get Luka Doncic last year, right? And we've seen the flaws in our Lakers roster construction. They did not have a big man. They were able to acquire Dorian Finney-Smith. He was a big help as far as the Lakers defense, but you see the Lakers style that they're playing. They had to match up in smaller ball. That's why we started to emphasize a small ball lineup. And you didn't have a rim protector. You got rid of Anthony Davis. So who was your guy to rely on to bring that big man presence? And honestly, it was Jackson Hayes, and he just couldn't fulfill that role. What Jackson Hayes is doing now is great. Limited minutes, but like 15, maybe if that 20 minutes, maybe. But he provides a different spark, a different energy for the Lakers when he does come in. What happened? They ran into a Minnesota Timberwolves team who exploited the Lakers, who utilized their size, their physicality, and were able to get every single thing they wanted against that Lakers team, and it ended up in a first-round exit. And now you look where the Lakers were at 41 games this year. 25 and 16. Wow. You look at it. It's the best record that they had in a while, in a half a decade. I know that they were able to stack up some wins. I know that the easier part of the schedule was earlier this season. The Lakers did take advantage of that. They were able to stack up wins, so that's why you can't argue with what they have done. But I know the record said that in the 41 games is 25 and 16, but we can't fool ourselves. They still have some flaws in this roster. They still lack defensive intensity, defensive effort. They don't have the personnel to really scheme up what they really were trying to do. They're not young. They can't get out of the run. They always like to slow it down. There's going to be some flaws. There's a lot of flaws in this Lakers team, but there's also some positives. They're a top 10 in the scoring for a reason. When Austin Reeves is in the lineup with Luka Doncic, they pair him up with LeBron James, Lakers are a top 10 in scoring for a reason because those guys can get buckets. Those guys can get to the free throw line. They provide a different type of defensive scheme that opponents is hard to scout on when you have a guy like Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic who can fill up the stat sheet offensively. The biggest thing that's going to go on, and when the Lakers make the playoffs, and when they get into that mix, can they defend? Can they slow teams down? Can they limit turnovers? That is going to be the biggest thing that we see with this Lakers team. And so, yes, they had a best record in a half decade. We've seen where the record is at since 2020, which was the year where we're like, damn, we see a lot of that Lakers team. We hope that they can get back to that same roster construction, the same athleticism, the same youth. Guys can get out, defend, run the lanes. We see what they have. Hopefully they can imitate that and do that with Luka Doncic. This is why I wanted to bring that up. And I'm not saying that they're going to have the same similarity as that roster construction in 2020, but you can only hope that they can still get guys who are active just like that and put around a guy like Luka Doncic because you're going to need it. If you plan on building around Luka Doncic for the foreseeable future, you're going to need defenders. You're going to need guys who can shoot the basketball. You're going to need a double big man line. You're going to need guys that can go ahead in the pick and roll game. Luka Doncic can lob it up to you. You're going to need it because he has a lot of slack on that end of the floor in a lot of moments. You're going to need guys to fulfill his defensive liabilities. And if you're going to sign Austin Reeves, you're going to need that defensive liabilities as well. Guys to surround them. And that way they do not get exposed as much as they have been these past couple games. And I hope I'm making sense when I'm saying this, because that really brought a light to me. Because I know we're probably never going to get back to that same 2020 team. I know people always say they should have never blown it up. They should have never got on from Caruso, all those different types of things. But you can only hope what the new ownership group, and this is why I'm spinning it back, with the new ownership group, that they actually have a plan. And I know what the Dodgers have been doing. We all been seeing it, and this is how I'm going to tie in the Dodgers a little bit into the mix. We've seen what the Dodgers have been doing. They just signed Kyle Tucker. They needed outfield help. What do? They go fulfill that need, that hole. They needed a closer, Edwin Diaz. What do? They get the resources, they fulfill that hole, and they provide the right resources to keep on building championship-level contending teams. I know people say the Dodgers broke baseball, but where I'm getting at, I know salary cap is different. I know NBA has a salary cap that has a second apron. They got all these different types of things that can take away from acquiring all those different types of superstars like the Dodgers have been doing. But there's one thing you know. There's a structure. There is a plan. And they have been having a plan. There's a reason why there has been success in that field. You only hope that they can translate that and bring it over to the Lakers with proper planning, the right scouting, the right assets, the right guys to build around your generational talent of Luka Doncic. So that's exactly why I wanted to bring up those records, because you've seen the constant changes through this Lakers team, and there was not really a straight plan. It was always, we need to do it right now. We need to get trades right now, the trade deadline. We need to get the right guys for LeBron James. It's the only era that we have. This is coming down the end of LeBron James' career. We need to do this for him. We need to do this for Anthony Davis. We got to get the right guys right now to win. And it always led to matchups and always led to first-round exit. It's 2 first-round exits, by the way. And then, yes, they had really good luck. They played really well in that stretch. They did make it to the Western Conference Finals, but they didn't make it. And they lost all these draft capitals. And that's why teams now, what they're going to want is the Lakers draft capital, because they don't have the right assets to trade. So I saw something today in regards to Andrew Wiggins, whose name has been centered around the Lakers for this past year. Andrew Wiggins, 3-and-D guy. Can he help out? Possibly. Don't do anything. I do believe Andrew Wiggins is great in the mid-range game. I do believe Andrew Wiggins can fulfill what J.J. Redick's defensive schemes are, switching a lot, 1 through 5. He has a good wingspan. He can get out of the passing lanes. He can defend. He can provide a little bit of offense. Like I said, his bread and butter is getting off and getting into the mid-range game. Three-point shooting, not really his strongest skill set, which – you look at this Lakers team, what have they been struggling at through these past couple seasons? Shooting the three-point ball. That's been the Lakers' biggest downfall, is that they have guys that can attack the paint, get to the free throw line, but when they do get to that lane and defense collapse like this and they look for someone to kick out to, can you rely on someone to really knock down that three-point ball? So when you try to trade for a guy like Andrew Wiggins, can he help out the defense a little bit? Yes. Can he provide a little bit of offense? Yes. But is he someone that you really want to trade one of your picks for? Okay, if you have the chance to offload Don't Connect and possibly Rui, which I do believe that coming into the next couple of games, the Lakers are going to make adjustments to where we probably will see Rui off the bench a little more to provide a different look from the bench. Be patient. Be patient. Ride this season out. I'm going to sound like a broken record until the trade deadline is over, because who knows what the Lakers are going to be doing. They're listening. They're entertaining offers, as they should. Who wouldn't? Don't do anything. You have a plan. You have a future. Because if you are aggressive during the trade deadline, that's not guarantee you to get over a little hump. to potentially lose maybe in the first round, or if you do make it, to say I don't see this a real chance and a real scenario of this team actually making it to the finals. And it's okay to be understanding and realistic with that expectation. So, got my guys back there. My guy Tim, my guy John. What y'all got back there, brothers? What up? Look, what they need to do tonight against the Nuggets is limit turnovers. I'm telling you right now, the Nuggets like to get out and run. If you do not, if you turn the ball over, which the Lakers always have struggles with, that's what happens. And then when you allow Jamal Murray to get into his spots left and right without real defensive pressure, it's going to happen, and we're going to see it. And I just feel like the Lakers are going to have to play different types of basketball, meaning they're going to have to switch it up. We've seen what the J.J. Redick was able to do, make those second half adjustments, meaning went to man to man, and then it went to J.J. Redick also going into a 2-3 zone, then also a matchup zone. It led to all of that. So they're going to have to play a different type of game plan. You can't just rely on man-to-man switching. It doesn't work. Simple as that.
That they've seemed to develop their guys.
Hold on real quick, John. They said that you got no sound on your mic.
All right, we're adjusting it.
Yeah.
We're adjusting it.
Yeah. So
no sound?
It should be, hopefully it's better now.
Is that better?
Yeah, hopefully. I can hear you, but the YouTube chat was saying that.
There we go. All right.
Cool.
They're saying they can hear the chat.
Hey, little technical difficulties.
Little technical difficulties. I see in the chat, is that a do-rag? No, this is a skull cap. Getting back to what I was saying about the Nuggets, they have, the ability to develop guys. I'm looking at a guy like Peyton Watson, who's, rose through the ranks for them and has become a key contributor for them. It's what the Lakers kind of don't do. We don't really develop guys. We get them and we go. I heard what you were talking about Andrew Wiggins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not, the springy athletic wing that we saw in the Warriors 2022 championship run.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still a guy that I think about. He's still good. He's still got some gas in the tank. He could be something for the Lakers, personally. I think they could do something with him.
Look, man, if Andrew Wiggins can provide a little bit like that for the Lakers, you got to think about it as a whole roster construction. Because people were saying Jared Vanderbilt, why does he start? Why does he get more minutes? And I'm not comparing the two, because Andrew Wiggins definitely has a lot more step in his offensive game.
Yeah, way more
than Jared Vanderbilt. But everyone's saying we got to bring Jared Vanderbilt in to be that point of attack defender. We need more intensity on that end of the floor. And they did, right? The answers were solved a little bit, but it's team defense. It's five, not just one guy. So if one guy gets blown by, all of a sudden the defense is exploited, and then that's when they're playing in scramble mode, is what we like to call. So can Andrew Wiggins help out a little bit in that sense? Yes. Can he be a valuable asset on the offensive end of the floor? Possibly so. But you have a plan. Be patient and just ride out this season, man. You have a generational guy. Just keep it simple as that, man.
Okay. I hear you loud and clear, man. We'll see what the Lakers do tonight. Hopefully they make some noise, man. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, man. As always, man, Lakers, Nuggets tonight. Let's see what they got in store. Look, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a grind out. This is going to be what we need to do. See where the Lakers are at. Let's see what they match up with for the Denver Nuggets. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be talking to you guys tomorrow. Lakers and Nuggets. Peace.